Hi, everybody. My name's Travis, and this is the Daily Travesty. We are continuing our series of draft videos, which are intended to help players that are new to drafting and want to try out drafting get better at it, or maybe think about how they could start to get better at it. What I wanted to talk about in this video were the different types of drafts you can do on Arena. It shouldn't be a very long video, but basically just weigh the pros and cons of them and talk a little bit about what I like to do. That's basically what all these videos are about, is about what I like to do. Not that it really matters, but just as for your information, the last couple of seasons I have gotten to Mythic and Limited. In general, I think it's really hard to do that and not invest in the program. I have to buy gems in order to keep drafting. Even if you're playing really, really well and you have a generally high win rate, I think eventually you're going to run out of gems. And if you want to draft consistently, draft every day, you might have to buy into the program. I'm comfortable doing that because I think it's a lot of fun. But if you aren't comfortable with that and you want to play it for free, you can totally do that. You can have a great time drafting. You just have to manage your expectations about how much you're going to win and what the highest rank you can get to is. But some people don't care about that, which is totally fine. When you do jump into drafts on Arena, there are generally three different types. There are quick drafts, there are premier drafts, and then there are also traditional drafts, which currently I don't see listed here, which is totally fine. Maybe they get rid of them in between seasons. I'm not really sure what's going on, but that's okay because we are going to talk about quick drafts and premier drafts today. I'm going to start by clicking on Premier Draft. I think that this is really where you want to be. A lot of new players that are just starting out in draft, get a little bit discouraged at the cost. It does cost 10,000 gold to enter one of these. It costs 1,500 gems to enter. And that is a lot. That is a huge cost for a lot of people to swallow. And it's double what the quick drafts cost. And so I could see why people would be turned off by that a little bit. I play Premier Drafts. There's a couple of reasons why, and I suggest that you do it as well to an extent. The first reason is that Premier Drafts, you actually get to draft against live opponents. So everyone that's taking or doing a Premier Draft gets thrown in queues into pods of 8 people. You draft in a circle, kind of like I showed in the previous videos. And the reason why this is better is that you are drafting with other intelligent humans that are hopefully making intelligent draft decisions. This is going to teach you how to draft better. It's going to help you learn how to read signals from real players. And when you're making picks, you are trying to assume what everyone else at the table is thinking and doing and how they're going to react to that. And that in its own right can be really fun. In the quick draft mode, you're drafting against bots. There's some algorithm that chooses how the bots draft, and the bots aren't actually trying to build decks. They are going off of some sort of pick order. So they basically just get a pile of cards. They're trying to draft as intelligently as the machine can, but at the end of the day, those bots don't actually have to play with that deck. So their decisions are going to be a little bit different than if you're in a pod full of human people. I think Premier Draft teaches you to draft better and is more fun. The second reason why I recommend Premier Draft is that your expected value for number of wins is actually much higher. In Premier Draft, it might cost you 1,500 gems to enter, but if you get to 5 wins, you get all those gems back. You get 1,600 gems back. 5 wins, 3 losses is going to get you more gems than you started with, and you're going to get to draft again, which is kind of the goal when you get into drafting, because you want to draft as much as you can once you start to love it. 5 wins, 6 wins, obviously great. 7 wins, even better. So you can get all your gems back by going 5, 6, or 7 wins, which is pretty hard to do, not going to lie. Even for myself, I've been drafting for a while. I really enjoy it. Still going 0-3 sometimes, still going 2-3 a lot of the time. Really, really happy if I can get 4 wins or more. And in Premier Draft, you're actually not punished for going 4-3. Notice that if you get 4 wins, 3 losses, you get 1,400 gems. That's almost an entire draft back. So you aren't losing out on too much. Obviously, if you had exactly 1,500 gems to start with, and you get 1,400 back, you can't draft again. But it's so close that getting 4 wins almost feels like you get to draft again for free. Compare that to the quick drafts. Let's flip over to the quick draft screen here. In quick drafts, the prices are halved. 5,000 gold, 750 gems. New people to draft looking at that might be like, okay, that's less risk. I don't have to put as much in. The problem with this is, one, you're drafting against bots, so I don't think it teaches you the actual strategy behind draft and picks and staying open as much. You do get a little bit of that, and it's certainly better than nothing. But I feel like this doesn't teach you how to draft with real people, which is kind of the goal at the end of the day. And it makes it more fun, I think. The other thing is that your expected value or the return on your investment is actually much less. Remember that in Premier Draft, we could get 7 wins, 6 wins, 5 wins, and get all our money back, and even 4 wins to an extent. In Quick Draft, that's not the case. 7 wins, 7 wins is great. You get 950 gems back. That's more than you started with. 6 wins, you get 850 gems back. That's more than you started with. That's great. 5 wins, you get 650. So if we draft Premier Draft and we get 5 wins, we get more money than we put in back. But in Quick Draft, we get less. 4 wins, much less. So although the initial entry fee looks much worse in Premier Draft, if you're playing at a consistent level and you're winning a certain percentage of the time, you are actually going to end up with more gems overall if you play Premier Draft. Like here, you actually have to go 6-3, which is really, really hard to do. Again, you can be the best drafter in the world, get an awful deck, get mana screwed, mana flooded, your opponent plays really well, they have a sweet deck, and you're going to lose some games. It is really, really hard to get to 6-7 wins. So that's another reason I play Premier Drafts, because I don't get to 7 wins that often, and I want as many gems back as I can possibly get so I can draft again. One of the strategies I could recommend to you, again, do whatever makes sense to you, is that if you are not wanting to pay money for Arena, totally fine, and you're just grinding for your daily gold, what you can do is you can do challenges, grind for gold, and once you hit 5,000 gold, do a quick draft. That lets you practice drafting. You actually get to play. It's awesome. And then just bank the gems. This is what I did before I made the decision to pay a little bit of money to Wizards, which I'm totally fine with. I like the product they have. But what I used to do is I would just grind for gold. Once I got to 5,000, I would play quick drafts. And then any gems I got, I would just save. Even if I got 950 gems off a 7-0 win, yay me, I wouldn't spend gems for my next draft. I would just keep grinding gold. Once I got to 5,000, pay 5,000 for a draft. And if I won gems at that point, that got me up to 1,500 gems, then I would switch to Premier Draft. And I would do as many Premier Drafts as I could off of that amount until I lost everything. Go back to grinding gold, quick drafts, working my way up to Premier Drafts. And I found that was the best balance of getting a lot of draft value right away, getting to draft consistently. I think if you do all your daily challenges, you get a draft every 5 days or so worth of value. So you get to draft a lot, but you also get the added advantage of playing some drafts against computer drafting opponents and the higher expected value from your premium currency, which is your gems. So that's what I would suggest. Again, do whatever makes sense to you, but grind for gold, quick draft with gold, save your gems, use your gems for Premier Draft. That's all I have to say about that. This has been the Daily Travesty. I'm Travis, and I'll see you guys later.